Dan Bongino, former NYPD officer, former Secret Service agent, and the host of the Dan Bongino Show. Dan, you've seen what we've seen so far, which has been publicly released, the larger interview tonight. But so far, your takeaway on how Comey has tried to position the impression of himself in the media.
Well, it's funny that he says, well, you know, the intelligence community does intelligence and then the White House does spin. There is no bigger spinster out there than Jim Comey. He is spinning. This guy is the founder of the feast when it comes to political spin. Let's just walk through quickly the case against Jim Comey, because it's crystal clear how horribly he handled this whole situation. He failed to notify Congress, Pete, this is on the record, for 8 months about the most sensitive investigation possibly in modern U.S. history, the spying operation on U.S. Trump. And by the way, Pete, in case any of the viewers are thinking, well, he had to wait because it was sensitive, no. There are quarterly briefings with select members of Congress where they're supposed to brief them on that. He also screwed up the FISA-Gate scenario, where he failed to vet the information used to spy on potentially innocent American citizens. Screwed up the Flynn case. He screwed up the Hillary case. This guy is going to be remembered only as a cautionary tale for future FBI agents on what not to do.
All right, so I want to get your take on this. Representative Jim Hines, who is a congressman from Connecticut, has some pretty strong words about people that have attacked James Comey, Robert Mueller. Here he was on another program just a couple days ago. Take a listen.
You're seeing a classic Washington story where when the facts are ugly for your man, you attack the character and personality of the person who's pushing those facts. Kate, I was at the Department of Justice 1 hour ago. Jim Comey is a legend there. He's a legend within the FBI. Let's have that conversation about whether Jim Comey made the right move in talking about the Hillary Clinton thing. But people will rot in hell for besmirching the reputation, the integrity, and the professional history of these two men.
Ooh, Dan.
How your soul is at issue, Dan.
And Dan, let me just add to this question we're asking you to react is, does Andrew McCabe then go straight to hell? Because in the Office of Inspector General report put out by the DOJ, it appears that McCabe's counsel put out a letter besmirching Comey's portrayal of him.
You know who's really going to rot in hell? The people who spied on and used the Constitution as a Kleenex, innocent American citizens, in order to alter the outcome of a presidential election. And yes, we're talking about the Democrats. And Himes knows this. Here's the problem. You know, the lights are coming on and the cockroaches are scurrying around trying to get away. Himes fully understands here that when the light is shown on this process and we see that Democratic operatives paid foreign intelligence operators for information on a presidential candidate in a U.S. election with the intent on besmirching his character and his team to alter the outcome of an election, the American public instinctively goes, because they've been propagandized by the media, oh, you mean Trump collusion? No, we mean Democrat collusion with foreign intelligence operators, both British and Russian. Himes knows that, and that's why he's saying that, because he's trying to dissuade people from looking into what really happened here.
All right, well, there are a lot of interesting nuggets coming out of this book, and the interview is tonight, and we'll get a lot more from that. But in the book, Comey hints at some damaging material involving ex-Attorney General Loretta Lynch. He says still unknown to the American public, and according to one article, says that it is sparking furious speculation inside and outside of the Beltway. What is your take on that?
Well, this is interesting. I have some pretty good contacts on this one. I think it could be a series of emails on a private server, which wouldn't surprise anybody. We know Hillary Clinton obviously had hers. We know there's a history of doing it with the Obama EPA and other places in the Obama administration. I'm pretty confident it's probably a series of private emails between Loretta Lynch or her office on a private email account that don't make the former Attorney General look very good with regard to the Hillary email investigation.
Interesting. So more behind the scenes tilting of the scales, you might say, toward the Hillary folks is what you think this may be.
You're darn right. That's what I think it may be. Absolutely. Yes.
Right.
So, Dan, just very quickly, because we're almost out of time, do you think we learn more about Lynch in the Horowitz's report, the fuller one? Because we've only seen the part about Andrew McCabe. Do we get more of this?
Yes, I think the stroke, we have not seen all the documents. Remember, there's up to 1 million potential documents in this case. We've only seen a small fraction of them. Yes, I think Loretta Lynch, that's why I said in the show, what was it, last week? I think Loretta Lynch should get an attorney and get one, and a good one, real fast.
All right, well, more to come. Dan, always good
Thanks,
to see
Dan.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Happy Sunday.
guys.
Thanks so much. All right, turning out to some other headlines we are following closely this morning. Apple is sending an internal memo with a strong warning to leakers. Ironically, the memo leaked to Bloomberg reveals the company caught 29 employees and had 12 arrested. It describes in harsh terms for those who get caught in part. These people not only lose their jobs, they can face extreme difficulty finding employment elsewhere. Of course, this comes nearly 6 years after CEO Tim Cook claimed Apple would double down on secrecy on products. Also this, Liberal Congressman Keith Ellison is at it again. The Minnesota representative making this claim.
Women are dying because we are losing elections. We don't have the right to lose a damn election.
Well, the vice chair of the DNC referring to maternal mortality rates while speaking to a group of so-called progressives in Washington. And House Majority Whip Steve Scalise is reportedly backing Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House. The representative's office telling Politico Scalise is focused on keeping the conservative agenda moving forward. This as retiring House Speaker Paul Ryan announcing his endorsement for McCarthy in a Meet the Press interview airing later this morning.
I fully anticipate handing the gavel over to the next Speaker of the House after this term, and I think Kevin's the right guy to step up.
Ryan will retire as Speaker when his term ends in January. Those are some headlines we're following.
Keep an eye on a Jim Jordan dark horse candidacy as well. A lot of conservatives frustrated with leadership and feel like a Freedom Caucus member.
So before Ryan's term ends, or
No, at the end. I mean, at the end
Yeah.
when it comes up. Well,
Interesting.
we'll see. All right, well, still ahead. The world watching as action is taken in Syria. So how will it affect the markets? We're breaking it down coming up next.
plus David Bossie, Heather Nauert, former Senator Joe Lieberman, and Sarah Carter, all here live. That's coming up.